Hello, my name's Adam Grandison. I'm you've been watching my videos. I've been talking about everything from the environment to politics. And I think if anything they're intertwined because our survival is a community, society, uh, within our government, the United States, is important because it's we do live in the environment, right? We do live on Earth, and our our interaction with the entire globe is dependent on how we treat our Mother Earth. So, what do I want to talk about? I want to talk about interactions as humans we have with one another, and one of the things I've been talking about, I brought up affirmative action. I'd like to discuss, if I may, I will admit that I'd like to discuss the psychology of racism. These are just hypotheses, but from what I've encountered about they seem to be pretty some truths to these hypotheses. So we're humans. We're pretty similar. We talk about there's as a scientist, especially a biologist, we know that we couldn't be any more similar. A very small, a minor component of our genetic code, melanin and other racial characteristics, or characters associated with the racial groups, are associated with our actual genes, our genetic makeup, a very small percentage. Um, we have our brain, for example, takes up, uh, you know, 23% of our 26,000 genes. That's in our, our racial characteristics that, along with these subgroups, are not even close to that. Um, Also, we've in biology we come across things like other truths, like the fact that there's more genetic diversity. This is kind of alludes to the previous point that I just made. There's more genetic diversity, between races, or I'm just forgive me. There's more genetic similarity between different races than there is, within a race. There's more likelihood that you're going to be similar to someone outside of the race because there's a lot of more variation, outside of the race than there is, within your race. We're, it just shows that these things that we associate with race really they do not involve science. They do not involve our brains, which are associated with higher order thinking and things like morals. Also, morals, those are important too. Yeah, it's also the other amazing quote is always like we're talking about racism, we're talking about evolution, we're talking about humans. It's like, why do we do this stuff? The other fascinating thing is like people always give the example that we don't like we don't see cardinals flying around with blue jays and stuff like that and mating with them and stuff like that. Well, yeah, we don't. But if you want to get technical, for example, let's use something like dog breeds. Dog breeds, have you seen compared, even dog breeds that are very similar in size. So let's say a dog breed, a Chihuahua to a Great Dane. Okay, imagine the amount of genetic code to produce, the physical differences to physical differences, okay, that produce a Great Dane and a Chihuahua. Compare them. You know, size, all that physiology is within our genetics. There's a lot more different than the color in their nose, in their lips, and stuff like that. The things that racial characteristics are usually associated with. So there's humans who like we see these things that these images of race. It is a very minor component of what makes us us. And what does make us us? Up here, the very things that created this amazing shirt and the image it represents. We use our brains. We think. It makes us makes us and above the rest. Okay, above stand out. Also what else we're talking about? So why are these images why do we associate why is race important? Why do we why in the world do we find race important? So to me so so current discussion is obviously from from an educated point of view. I mean, we understand that educators. I mean, we understand that race it really should not matter. It does, unfortunately, because our society has been geared towards such, driven off course, but as a scientist, person with morals, and a person who wants to uphold those morals, those values that are universal to all of us, we know it's not true. So, for example, it's so why do we have this why is race so important, and where is its evolutionary origin? So back to primates. We are primates. Why is race important? Well, I came to think of it. This is my hypothesis, and I think it's pretty accurate. So we as primates, as our nearest common ancestors are chimps, rhesus monkeys, things like that. We roam in bands. Okay, so much as our cognitive ability increased, we found out that if we grouped up, we the likelihood of survival or survivability, increased, right? We see that, families, communities, things like that, right? Survivability increases, one family surviving alone in a community really doesn't have survival that long. No different than one state within the United States, one nation within the United Nations. Okay, they're very we have certain psychological tricks that are used to protect ourselves. They're if anything, they're not exactly. They do not represent reality. If so obviously we do need diversity in our society. We'll get to that later. But what do we do? Our fight or flight response, right? So if we see someone from a different band, let's say, who has a different skin color, right? What do we do? What do we do? We want to put up a barrier. Hey, don't come over here. We're going to protect our family, right? We're going to protect our band. And the ones who look like me, we're going to protect it too. Because you have a different skin color. And you have all the little clubs and, stuff like that. And our fight or flight response, kicks in, aggression, adrenaline, stuff like that. And, we succumb to our animal instincts. So we think about one of the things so why race in general. So let's say why the skin color, why the nose, why the lips and things like that, cheekbones, whatever. It's still even talkable, but to understand why people who are wrong do this, we have to understand race, its evolutionary origin. So let's say my big fear. I'm really scared of bees. Okay, it's silly. I'm scared of bees. Okay, and so obviously, if any person knows about bees, is that they do have different. They come in different sizes, but their color stands out. Okay, their color. I mean, they can be all sorts of colors, but their colors, they can be yellow, they can be green, they can be whatever, okay? But they are evolutionarily designed to stand out, to not look like a, regular old, I don't know, innocent little green lady or a ladybug or something like that, okay? Well, ladybugs they stand out too. But either way, they're not meant to look like something that's innocent. They want to, like, hey, back up, I will protect myself. So we have been trained to think, to be, hey, associate with color, characteristics like nose and lips and things like that. So it's like, hey, you could potentially hurt me. Yeah. Do I look like the person who's saying this with the intent of going at it, fisticuffs thing? No, I want to bring people awareness of the importance of diversity in our society. Okay, we need diversity so we can get past this stuff. So we don't have to see these differences. So we can progress, innovate, do great things. Not as a nation, but as a world, come together in poverty, in all that stuff, in suffering, in famine, disease, all that stuff. Diversity is the key. And the thing about it is, using our current government, if someone were to come up and say, it's like, hey, we naturally have animal instincts and we naturally protect ourselves, our military, we naturally have to protect our boundaries. So I'm saying that as I've reiterated on Facebook and Twitter, that what makes our nation great are morals, our nation, liberty, Statue of Liberty. And we stand up, for freedom, right? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Stand up for good. Okay. So, if we were to apply those morals to that sort of thinking that our military uses, we would be in the wrong. Okay, I'm a citizen of the United States. but also a global citizen. I care for all human beings. My caring has no color associated with it. It's a, I mean, as a scientist, I'm preaching about facilities race, but I really don't care. It's a concern for life, the environment. But no, if you were going to apply those morals to what any nation should use its military, any nation, okay, if you used it and acted out of aggression and fear and stuff like that, I mean, you'd be in the wrong, okay. Those are, as I previously said, animalistic, instincts, right? And if in court, we have that thing called, what's it called? Appeal to nature. And if someone wants to, associate, our animalistic, our fundamental animalistic instincts, to our, evolutionary background, you that wouldn't fly too well, and it doesn't fly too well. Okay, it's our, we it our values, our values. I mean, that is the key. Okay, it doesn't fly. Appeal to nature does not fly, because we know that, we stand for a set of ethics that is higher than what nature intended, what our barbaric instincts intended. We're, I mean, and in all honesty, so pretty much, I can go deeper. Matter of fact, I do intend to go deeper. Yeah, this is just one of, a series of videos that I'm going to talk about. Are just what it means to be human. And what it means to stand or protect, and see the good that we do. Not as the United States, but the United Nations, okay? The United set of states that represent, all the nations of the globe. Okay, I'll get back to that. Okay, okay.